Guys and girls, this is Wager Detective here, June 22nd, 2026. We're going to cap this Yankees versus Tigers game. Before we get into that, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Set alerts on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. Wager Detective on a mission to consistently show why he is the greatest handicapper in the world. Momentum is growing. It's just a matter of time before the world knows that's the truth. And I'm just excited. I get up every day. I make sure that I follow through on my passion. This is a love of mine. Capping sports, all the major sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, and UFC, all my specialties. And Wager Detective on an 8-2 run on straight bets. That video will be posted. Screenshot video will be posted of that screen recorded video showing that it is the truth. And the Wager Detective report's going to carry on here as we look at the Yankees and Tigers. I appreciate and love all my fans out there, present and future. Let's get into this cap. Yankees coming in at minus 130, Tigers plus 110. The over-under set at 8.5, minus 110 both ways on the over-under. Yankees are 6-4 in their last 10, 24-15 on the road. They're 1-3 in extra inning games, 8-12 in one-run games, and they're 18-8 versus left-handed pitching, which they will see today in Framber Valdez. Now, the Yankees are 6-7 in their last 13 games versus the Tigers. And in those 13 games, last 13 versus the Tigers, they're minus 25 in the run differential. They're 4 over and 9 under in the last 13 versus the Tigers. They're scoring 2.76 runs a game to the Tigers 4.69. That's a 61-36 run disadvantage for the Yankees in their last 13 versus the Tigers. So even though the 6-7 looks pretty, like they're playing pretty good, minus 25, almost 2 runs per game difference in those games, the last 13. Now, if we look at the last 10 at Detroit, the Yankees are better there. They're 5-5, but they're still minus 2 run scored, minus 2 in the run differential department there. The last 10 games at the Tigers, all of those games have gone under the 8.5. Now, some people will look at that and say, well, that seems easy. We got 2 good pitchers on the mound. We probably get there. I don't necessarily know about that. But 0-10 in the last, the over-under is, all 10 games have gone under the last 10 the Yankees have played at the Tigers. Now, the Yankees this year, they're in road night games this year, they're 16-9, a plus 54 run differential there in road night games this year, 9 over and 16 under. Another case for the under there. They're scoring 5.08 runs per game average to 2.92 runs per game for their opponents in their 25 road night games this year. That's a 127-73 run differential for them. So very, very good there. Plus 54 in their 25 road night games this year, where they're 16-9 for the Yankees. Now, last 9 games overall, the Yankees are 5-4. They're plus 9 run differential there. Last 9 for the Yankees, 5 over, 4 under. They've lost 2 straight games to the Reds coming into this game. In their last 9, the Yankees have scored 5.22 runs per game to 4.22 for their opponents. That's a 47-38 run differential in favor of the Yankees there. Now, against the American League Central this year, Yankees are 12-3. A plus 53 run differential versus the AL Central this year. They swept the Royals twice, and they swept Cleveland. They're scoring 6.73 runs a game to 3.2 for their American League Central counterparts. That's a 101-48 run differential in favor of the Yankees. And the total score in those games is coming out to 9.93 runs per game average. Now, the Yankees are going to be in a home-to-road with no rest. And in that split, going back to last year and then this year, home to road with no rest before the All-Star break, the Yankees are 4-6 in their last 10, minus 5 run differential there, but they have won 2 straight in that split this year. So also I want to touch on something, another trend, Wager Detective. This is why I got the name Wager Detective, is just the way that I look for stats and trends is like nothing else that I think you're ever going to see anywhere. I mean, even if you try to duplicate it or try to do it, you got to have the passion to do it. It's so intense that it's like I just don't think there's many people walking the earth, and I love that. See, people see that as a bragging way. Might as well just look at me as the new Conor McGregor of this, because I'm building something, and then when I finally take off, that's when the world's going to know. Okay, so getting into the split here that I'm going to get into next, Sunday to Monday, home to road for the Yankees, dating back to last year, and then this year before the All-Star break, the Yankees. They were 0-3 last year, but they're 2-3 this year. Going from home on a Sunday game, finishing up a home series, and then going to the road with no rest in between. The Yankees are 2-3 in the last 5 of that split, -4 run differential, 2 over, 3 under. They are 2-0 this year in that split, 1 over, 1 under, and this year they're +3 in the plus-minus department. Now, the Tigers in that same split, we'll get into that as the cap goes on, but if we look at the Yankees so far and what we're looking at and how they're playing, you look at this game and we know, like we said, we know that the Yankees are favored here. Garrett Cole on the mound. But are the Yankees in a good spot right now? They've lost 2 straight, and they're going from the home to road, no rest, and it's just an interesting dynamic there to know whether it's a team that you could trust. But if you look at their 25 road night games this year, they're 16-9 plus 54 run differential. They are middling in their last 9, 5-4 plus 9 run differential. But you look what they've done against the AL Central this year. They're 12-3, scoring 6.73 runs a game to 3.2 in that split, 101-48. And then you got Garrett Cole on the mound, as we're going to get into that. The Yankees are 3-2 in his last 5 starts, plus 15 run differential there. They're scoring 5.6 runs a game to 2.6. That's a 28-13 run differential in Garrett Cole's last 5 starts. And if you look at it, like I said, they're 3-2. So in that split. In the last 5 starts for Garrett Cole, 28 innings pitched, 20 hits, 8 earned runs, 8 walks, and 4 home runs. He gave up 3 of those home runs versus Cleveland. In his last 5 outings, Garrett Cole's got a 2.57 ERA, a 1 whip, but he is giving up 1.29 home runs per 9 in his last 5 outings. And those wins came against the White Sox, Cleveland, and Kansas City. The losses came against Cleveland and Tampa Bay. And in his last 5 outings, he's averaging about 81.4 pitches a game. So they're kind of still working them into that lineup. Problem is, man, you start getting into pitch counts where the pitch counts get high, and you get to like 40, 50 pitches by that 3rd or 4th inning. It's gonna be hard pressed to think that the Yankees, if they, can win this, if the bullpen's going to have to come in early, if they're going to have to pitch more than 4 innings, because I think Frambler, as we get into this cap, we'll see why, this could be more on the lower scoring side. But there you have it. I mean, you look at his last outing versus the White Sox. The Yankees won 12-2. He had Cole had 6 innings pitched, only gave up 2 earned runs and a home run. And listen to this, guys. In his last 5 outings versus Detroit, the Yankees are 5-0. All right, 1 over, 4 under. They're scoring 6.2 runs a game to 1 run per game average over his last 5 starts when he goes against the Tigers. In his last 5 outings versus the Tigers, he's got a 1.02 whip and he's got a 1.69 ERA. So he knows this team well. He's pitching well. And they're doing good with him. I mean, they're just doing good when he's on the mound. And he's doing 2.57 ERA in his last 5, and he's got a 1.69 ERA in his last 5 versus the Tigers. So there's a mixed bag there. I think you got to keep in mind, like we said, the Yankees are 6-7 in their last 13 versus the Tigers, -25 run differential, and they're 5-5 their last 10. So it's not like they're dominating the Tigers. It's not like they're going to Detroit and beating up on them. And again, you got to keep in mind, you're going to have no Aaron Judge in the lineup. So those are the things you want to think about. No Grisham, no Judge. You lost 2 in a row. Is this where maybe that pendulum swings? There's always ebbs and flows to a season. Is this the part of the season where, maybe people were thinking Yankees lose 2 in a row, now they got Cole on the mound. But remember, Cole's only pitched 5 games this year, so they're still working him into that rotation. I don't see this guy going more than maybe 5 2/3, 15, 17 outs. You might have him pegged at. Is he going to get a full 6 innings in? Is he going to get over 17 and a half outs? You just don't know. And if you got to rely on the Yankees bullpen, Bednar is good, but if it's not a save situation, you got to have a setup guy to get it done. Interesting dilemma there. And like I said, Tigers coming in at plus 110 here. So we look at the Tigers. They're 5-5. And you look at what the Tigers have done this year. They're 11 games under 500. This is a team that went very deep into the playoffs last year, and now they're kind of like trying to find their identity. They still have 2 top pitchers in the top of that rotation in Skubal and, Valdez, and even a guy like Montero. They got guys over there, man, that could still make a run at this. They're going to be pumped up for this game. And we'll see how this game goes. Now, we look at the Tigers. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're 21-16 at home. They're 1-5 in extra inning games, 9-14 in one-run games, and they're 7-9 versus the American League East. Now, in home night games this year, they are 9-12, minus 14 run differential. They're scoring 3.81 runs per game to 4.47 for their opponent. It comes out to 8.28 runs per game average. They were swept by Boston. Okay? And they were swept by Cleveland. So they've been swept by 2 teams in home night games this year. So something to keep in mind now. Now their last 9 overall, they're 5-4, where they are plus 15 in the run differential department. So we said the Yankees 5-4 last 9, plus 9 run differential. The Tigers are 5-4, plus 15 run differential. Last 9, the Tigers are scoring 4.4 runs per game average, but their opponents are only scoring 2.77. So it's a very interesting dynamic there in the last 9. If we're looking at recency and what's going on, again, Yankees scoring 5.22 runs per game to 4.22 for their opponents. But we look at the Tigers, they're scoring 4.4 runs per game, but only giving up 2.77 to their opponents in their last 9 games. So something to keep in mind. Now, in the last 9 games, the Tigers have scored 5+ 3 times. Their opponents have scored 5+ 0 times. Something to keep in mind. Now we look at what they've done against the American League East. They are 7-9, a plus one run differential in that department. 4 runs a game to 3.93 for their opponent. In their games versus the American League East, they were swept by Boston, but they did. In their last series versus an American League East team, they went to Tampa Bay and swept Tampa Bay. So we're seeing a team that's playing better than what they've played all year long, right? Going against a team that doesn't have Judge, that doesn't have Grisham in their lineup. So something to keep in mind there, and and not playing well. Where the Yankees last year, they were 0-3 going from a Sunday home game to a Monday road game. This year they've won two straight. So. Or they're 2-0 rather. So, different dynamics. Like I said, is this a time where the Yankees start to maybe show chinks in the armor? Where they're just not, every team's got to go through it. Every team's going through it. And the Tigers went through it already. They went through their rough patch, and now they're playing a little bit better. Now, we look at who's going to be on the mound. Oh, before we get into that, home series to home series for the Tigers with no rest before the All-Star break, they are 4-3. So that's something to keep in mind, where this year they're 0-2 in that split, but last year they were 3-1 in that split. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're capping this game. In that split, the Tigers are playing a little bit better in that split. So something to keep in mind there when you're capping this game. And on the mound for the Tigers is going to be Framber Valdez. And the Tigers are 1-4 in his last 5 outings. -8 run differential in those outings. They're scoring 3.4 runs a game, and their opponents are scoring 5 in Valdez's last 5 outings. In his last 5 outings, Valdez has a 3.14 ERA, 1.26 whip, and he's given up 1.26 home runs per 9 in his last 5 outings. The win that he did have, that the Tigers did have in his last 5 outings, came against Seattle. The losses came against Houston, Minnesota, the White Sox, and Baltimore. That's nothing to be ashamed of. All those teams are going to be around that playoff hunt, and even Baltimore. Look what they did to the Dodgers yesterday. I mean, in that series against the Dodgers, when they want to hit, I said it before, they might not be playing good now, but every team has that part of the season where they have their ups and their downs. No team is just going through a season where they're just winning 2 out of every three games. So, again, 1-4, the Tigers are in Valdez's last 5 starts, and he does have a 3.14 ERA, so not bad there. Now, he is the Tigers are 6-9 overall when Valdez starts this year. They're a -10 run differential in those 15 games. They've scored 5+ 7 times in Valdez's 15-game started this year. So they've been shown the ability to score when he's on the mound. They're going against Garrett Cole, who's pitching great, but he's only had 5 starts this year. So got to keep that all in mind when you're capping this game. Now, in home games this year where Valdez starts, the Tigers are 3-3, -6 run differential. They're scoring 3.66 runs a game to 4.66 for their opponents. In his 6 home starts this year, Valdez has a 4.93 ERA, a 1.45 whip, and he's giving up 1.45 home runs per 9. So it can be dangerous here with guys like Ben Rice, Goldschmidt, who had a home run yesterday. Ben Rice had a home run yesterday, in the series against the Reds. Goldschmidt had a home run in the series versus the Reds, so that could be dangerous there. So we look at Valdez, 3-3 result at home this year when he starts. The Tigers are 3-3, and he's got a 4.93 ERA, but in his last 5 pitching better, a 3.14 ERA in 28 2/3. But them home runs, 1.26 per 9 over his last 5 outings, something to be concerned about here in a game like this. Tiger Stadium, the wind is blowing, you can see left to right. So for those left-handed batters, like Rice, like Bellinger, like Chisholm, you get one lifted in the air, it could go out. So all those things have to be considered. Now, the Tigers this year are 3-3 when Valdez starts on 5 days rest, like will be here. They're -2 in the run differential department, 3.33 runs a game to 3.66 for their opponents. And when Valdez starts on 5 days rest this year, he has a 2.21 ERA, a 1.09 whip, and 0.49 home runs per 9. So he's pitching really, really good in that split of 5 days rest. But when he is going against the Yankees in his last 5 outings, when he was with the Tigers, this will be his first start versus the Yankees with the Detroit Tigers. But in his last 5 versus the Yankees, he is 1-4. All 4 of those games went over, 1 went under. So, and in that split, he has 25 1/3 innings pitched for a 6.39 ERA, a 1.94 whip, and giving up 1.43 home runs per 9. If I'm looking at this game, guys, I just don't know if I can go against the Yankees here. And, it's not because Cole's on the mound. I just don't know what you're necessarily going to get from. We know what you're getting when you got Cole on the mound. He's 5-0. The Yankees are 5-0 in his last 5 starts versus the Tigers. The thing that concerns me is I feel like a little bit of a momentum shift. And the split that stands out for me is how well that he's pitched Valdez on 5 days rest this year. 2.21 ERA, 1.09 whip. The thing that's concerning is he's 0-5 or 1-4 in his last 5 versus the Yankees. Now, in 3 of those losses versus the Yankees, in his last 5 outings, where they're 1-4, they only lost by 1 run, right? In 3 of those 5 outings, right? So it makes me just believe that the Tigers are just in a little bit better of a spot. They're playing a little bit better baseball. They're at home. The Yankees are on the move. I think people are going to get caught up with the fact that the Yankees have lost 2 straight, and now Cole's on the mound and they're on the road and they might feel a little bit more comfortable. I just see a team in the Tigers that are playing a little bit better, a team that's probably going to want to try to make a run. They're going to be a little bit more focused here, right? They're going to be a little bit more focused. And, you look at them, their last 9, they're 5-4, and they're only giving up to their opponents 2.77 runs a game. And the Yankees are just not hitting the ball. They scored 1 run against the Reds yesterday, and then they got beat in the other game where they didn't really score any runs either. And now you're going to hit the road against a guy like Valdez. Now, I know in that lineup you got Goldschmidt, you got Rice, you got Bellinger, you got Chisholm. I'm looking at this, dude, you look at the lineup for the Tigers, I got guys over there that are doing pretty good. Listen, at the end of the day, you got, where's he at? Where's my man at here? Come on, man, don't do this. All right, let me find this here. You got Green. Is Green in the lineup? Yeah, Green's in there. You're going to have all these left-handed batters that are going to be going against Cole. You got Green, number 20th in baseball in batting average, batting 290. You got McGonigal, number 31 in baseball, batting 283. He's leading off. You got Dingler, number 55 in baseball, batting 269. You got your top 3 guys in the top 60 in batting average in baseball, and they're in the top 4 of the lineup here that are playing hot. And they want a guy's head like this guy on the mantle. There has to be some locker room chatter about the fact that he's 5-0 in his last 5 outings. The Yankees are 5-0 in his last 5 outings when he starts. This is a motivational spot. This is one of those spots where you say, I see the momentum shifting every little bit. And they don't have Judge in the lineup. So it takes a lot of pressure off of it. Now you need Ben Rice to come through. And Tiger Stadium is not a small stadium, guy. This is not a bandbox stadium. I would love to know how many home runs Rice has, because Rice is number 4 in baseball in home runs, but with 22. But how many of those came at home and how many came on the road? You're going into Tiger Stadium. This is not one of those small stadiums. I don't see home runs going out here for either team. Guys, give me the Detroit Tigers here, plus 110. I like it. That's the call here. Now, as far as an over-under, I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is I like the Tigers in this spot. They're playing a little bit better baseball, and I think I see the pendulum shifting here. I'm immersed in baseball right now. That report that I just gave you is everything you need to know about this game. Follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure you set alerts on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this video with as many people you can as on all the platforms. Wager Detective is going to the moon. Millionaire mindset. Follow your passion. The world is yours. This is Wager Detective with the Wager Detective Report, calling the Detroit Tigers on the money line, plus 110. If I had to lean aside on that over-under, I would say under. I would say under 8.5. I would say under 8.5. So that's the call here. Wager Detective calling the Detroit Tigers for this June 22nd, 2026 game to beat the Yankees. I think Valdez comes out and pitches well, and Cole's still trying to work his way into the rotation. So that's the call here. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, Wager Detective loves all his fans. I'll talk to you soon.